Können wir streichen, nobody needs that. It's just like if you don't know what to say. Wir sind Freunde von Herrn Müller. Sind is the verb, you look at the end, but there's nothing here. We are not Mr. Müller, so we are what? Freunde, easy to recognize, I hope. Friend. And the E at the end means friends. So we are friends. Of here means, von means of. Usually means stemming from, coming from. Yeah. For example, ich komme von der Arbeit. I'm coming from work. But you don't say ich komme von Deutschland because somehow von seems to be more temporary. Here you would say aus Deutschland, out of Germany. Yeah? Somehow I was generated in this country and I came out of it. So we are friends of Mr. Müller. Mein Hund ist weggelaufen. The Hund we kill. You see my hound, not much to do here, is and weggelaufen. Two of our old friends, weg. Remember the big one? Weg, way, and the small one, away. And laufen, remember the Luffa sponge, run. So, ist weggelaufen is the past form, has run away. And in English you say has run away, in German we say is run away, but you wouldn't translate it this way. Some verbs in the past take to be, but we cover that when we get to the past tense, not the preteritum. This is actually the perfect past tense, because it's perfect. Wir suchen ihn gerade, so we, and this looks like such, easy to remember, such a search is painful. Yeah? Such a search for a dog, and ihn you jumble around, hin, in English of course it's him. Gerade, you remember that? Gerade means straight. Yeah? You might have heard the word geradeaus, straight ahead. But here it means time-wise, something that's happening straight away is now. Yeah? Or at the moment, actually just now. We are looking for him just now. Yeah? Gerade, and you notice that I don't really say gerade, we skip this. And that's a specialty of gerade. And I don't remember any other word doing this for now, but there might be others. But don't do this as a general thing, just notice it for gerade. Das Gesicht der Dame entspannt sich. Well, we have lots of nouns with articles here, so this is the subject or very likely. And then we have entspannt, and the sich belongs to it, of course. Spannen, to span, which means there's tension, and if you end that, then you actually relax. So something relaxes itself here, something to do with the Dame, and what is it? The Gesicht. You remember the Gesicht contains the word side, so something that is responsible for your side, which is your face. The face of the Dame relaxes itself. Yeah? It's amazing what faces can do nowadays. Es würde mich sehr wundern, let me actually give you the second half, wenn Ihr Hund hier ist. So, second position is the Würde. It's an interesting word. It is like in English would, and it has no meaning. Yeah, it stems from the word werden, which your dictionary will tell you means to become, but it is actually never really used in that sense. It is 99% of the cases you see werden in any form, it simply means nothing. But of course in English you have something that represents it, and that is would. Yeah, so it would me very much, but we only use very, wonder. And you know, a wonder, if I see a wonder, I'm very surprised. So it would surprise me. Yeah, it would wonder me. Wundern, sich wundern, by the way. It's a reflexive one. And here you see the sich turns actually into mich and dich, and only for the he, she, it, yeah, it turns into sich. And more about this when we cover the reflexive verbs. Yeah, right now it's not important. It would surprise me, so what would surprise her? Wenn. Well, in German we would say when, but in English you would say if. Yeah, German is a bit more consistent. We don't necessarily have an if. We have a word which you will not use. So wenn is fine. Ihr, capital I, so sir. Yeah, your. Let me stop the sir and use the your hound. Here is. So it would surprise me if your dog was here. Yeah, we could say wäre, would be. Yeah, but is this fine as well if your dog is here? Herr Fischer ist nicht unbedingt sehr tierlieb. Mr. Fisher is something, and let's take a look at the end. He is tierlieb. And tierlieb, you might recognize tier. I get tears when animals get treated badly. Animal. And lieb from Liebe, lieben, ich liebe dich. Loving in this case, because it's an adjective. Because he is. Yeah? He's not animal love, he's animal loving. So, Mr. Fisher is not unbedingt. You don't need to know this. Well, maybe bedingt, yeah, unbedingt is easier. Not necessarily. Unbedingt. It's actually not necessarily. So, not necessarily very animal loving. To take this apart is a bit more complex. I cannot do this now. I'm not sure whether I want to go there. It contains the word Ding, yeah, which is basically thing. So somehow something that's necessary is connected to thingness. What do we make of this? You can also just ignore this. Yeah, you learn the nicht unbedingt as not necessarily. Yeah, let's do it like this. Yeah. It's more of a philosophical excursion, which we don't need right now. Aber Ihr Hund taucht bestimmt wieder auf. Aber, you remember the B here gives it away. But, and it's a zero position. Zero. Ihr Hund, capital I, your dog. It's not you dog, yeah, because in English you would also say your dog. So it's an article here in front of Hund. Taucht is the verb. And at the end we have something short, so it belongs together. Auftauchen. Auftauchen means to surface. And if I give you the opposite, that's abtauchen, to dive under. Yeah? So to vanish. If a criminal person taucht up, then he's vanishing or he's diving under. Yeah? Actually, let me quickly check this. What Diepel says. Descend. Yeah, that's actually a nice one. To descend. It's the opposite of... Actually, I forgot what it was. No. Descend. English is such a horrible language. Yeah, descend. To vanish. So something will surface again. It's the opposite of vanishing. And tauchen, by the way, tauchen on its own is to dive. Yeah. Just a little trick question, not a trick question, actually a little test. How would you call a person that dives? You take the stem, tauch, and persons you can often create by just adding er at the end, like in English. Dive. Very easy, no? Bestimmt. You have the Stimme again. Something is voiced. And that means definitely or very likely. Yeah? It has different meanings depending on the context. Or he will very likely, certainly. Certainly is a nice, better translation. Certainly. Surface, wieder auf, resurface. Ich habe früher selbst 2 Hunde gehabt. Beautiful verb here, and habe often has a partner at the end. Habe gehabt, you see it's the same verb. So here is the perfect past tense of the word haben. So I have had. Yeah? Früher von Frühstück simply means early piece, so earlier, which means back then, in the past. Selbst is self. Yeah, the B so often turns into a V, or in this case an F. So myself, zwei, you might learn at one point. The Z turns into a T. And on the telephone we don't say zwei. When you tell people your number, you say zwo. So that looks like 2 hounds had. So I've had myself 2 dogs back in the days. Die kommen immer wieder zurück. Remember, the immer from the book I'm reading is the thing that's always there. It's the ground sound and energy space that is always there. So the immer is the always. So die, what she's doing is she's shortening it because she was talking about dogs. So it's not the. If you kill the dogs from the sentence, not in general, you just say they, and then you see come. The immer is the always, wieder, again, and zurück, interesting word, to back. Yeah, towards, back to you. Let's say it like this. Zurück means back, but it contains zu. And if you look at Rücken, it's something that is in the back, and it's actually the back. And then we have another word, rückwärts, just to give this to you. The wärts group is lovely. Do you get that? I'll leave it open for you. You write it in the comments what that means. So they always come back. Let me keep this alive. Wenn sie Hunger haben. Remember, when, which is when or if. Whatever makes most sense for you. Not that important. In German it's always wenn. Sie here is referring to what was in the sentence before, which is the die. So they hunger have. So when they are hungry. So notice that you could say ich bin hungrig, but I honestly haven't met a German that says that. I would just say ich habe Hunger. That's the one to go for. I have hunger. That was chapter 12. See you in chapter 13.